Hello, hello, and welcome to another episode of Eat, Smoke, Drink. Okay. Oh, sorry. Welcome to another episode of Planty Face. Eat, Smoke, Drink. I thought I was going to talk to you about whiskies today. Unfortunately not. Well, I still can, but I'm not. So actually today what I'm going to talk about is, I'm speaking very quiet because my wife is sleeping upstairs and I don't want to be too loud, and also this mic is actually fucking powerful. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to redo a Monstera plant that I have. So just a little background, I got this Monstera plant about a year-ish ago, a year and a half ago. It's a year. And when I got it, it was just sitting outside neglected under cover. It was maybe 3 or 4 leaves, some random shoots coming out. So I planted it and it grew, and I planted it again in a bigger thing and it grew. So what I started doing is I started air layering some of the roots. Look, my hat. I started air layering some of the roots. I use a moss pole, but the moss pole is useless, and they're not actually climbing on the moss pole. So instead what I'm going to do is I fabricated this little thing, and then I'm going to use it as a, thing to mount on. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try and tidy it up, make it grow more symmetrical. So I'm going to bring it out and I'll show you. There we go. Okay. Alright, you can see that clearly. This fucking thing is wild, yeah? This fucking thing is wild. I started air layering, although I don't know what's going to happen to that one, because that's coming through the moss pole. I weaved it through a long time ago, but I've started air layering this, so I can cut it here and make incisions, and then I can take it out and then refresh the soil with some of the new soil here and tidy it up. So anyway, actually I don't think I'm going to use gloves, because sometimes gloves can actually make things more difficult. So first and foremost, I'm going to make cuts strategically, and I'm going to lay them out here, and then we can. Okay, so as you can see, I've had to wire up all these stuff, which I'm going to keep because these wires are bloody useful. These are like the aluminium flexible wiring, bonsai wiring. They use them to so just a warning, this is going to be a long video. I'm not going to fast forward it. I don't rehearse this. I'm just going to film as I go, man. So let's okay. Okay, so first what I noticed is this is going to be my main plant here. Okay, so these roots are all from this area here. I'm not going to bury the trunk. I'm going to place it with the roots facing down so the wound is exposed and it'll heal. Okay, so I'm going to make a cut right there. So let's do that now. I just realized I haven't had a coffee today. Oh, I'm tweaking. Okay, so I'm going to make a cut right there. There we go. String. Look at that. Oh, shit. There we go. First cut done. Okay, first cut done. I'm just gonna stick that on there. Okay. Oh shit! No! I wanted to avoid that. Okay, there. Okay. First cut done. Okay. Okay, so you can see some of the roots have come through. I'm going to dismantle that later, fully and proper, when I take it all out. But for the meantime, it's okay. There we go. Look at that. Nice little root ball. Okay, so yeah, leave that there. But now I've got to figure out how I tackle this thing. So I think I'm going to have to pour it out and see what happens. Let's see what happens. Okay. This is going to be annoying, but let's see. Wow. Okay, this is... Holy shit. This is well and truly involved, no? Look at that. Well and truly involved. And that's a good thing, because now I can be brutal about my cuts, not have to worry about having enough fruits. And then we're going to start again, yeah? What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use some of the soil and mix it with new ones, and then we'll start from there, okay? So let's see how we go. Oh man, okay, this is going to be a lot of work, but let's see. A lot of roots. It's grown quite well, but needs to be done. So the moss pole is involved in the roots in the bottom, but not really at the top. So really, I mean, I don't really know what to do with that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to dismantle the moss pole. And that moss pole is now obsolete from my needs. And frankly, I don't think it's benefited it too much. So let's see. It's actually raining now. It's going to be interesting. If it rains heavier, I'm going to get fucking soaked. Let's see what happens. Man, I really cable tied the bejesus out of this. The only reason why I'm doing this is to see if some of the roots are worth saving, because aerial roots are roots. They become roots. So, you know, if you can avoid destroying them totally, then you're already ahead, right? So let's pull out some of this. See, look, not really much there. The moss pole didn't really create much roots in the aerial systems, so I don't really care. It's a good thing to see. There. So you can, I'm actually going to mix that in with the soil, because that's really good stuff, you know, really good stuff. Okay, so this is going to be tough. It's going to be tougher than I thought. It's like going through fucking Thai wiring, you know, like when you're in Thailand, the Bangkok wiring. It's like, there we go. Just trying to get that out of there. Dismantle that. There we go. Nope, that's a shitty. It's nothing good there. Okay, let me. Yeah. All right, done. Okay, bit by bit, one by one, we're dismantling this baby. Okay, now the question I've got is, do I cut some of the roots? And the answer is yes. I've done it before, and with Monstera, they respond extremely well to root trimming, because they are a natural vine. So there you go. So naturally, I'm root trimming. I'll just get rid of that. I can't be bothered. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the sources of, get like this bit here. I'm going to separate this. Okay. And there's a lot of roots. Okay. Okay. Look at that. Look at that. Nice piece. Nice piece. Okay. Massive root ball. But I'm going to actually just bury this part here. Okay, so look at that. Look at that. I'm going to bury all of that. That shit's valuable. Okay, that shit is valuable. So I'm going to bury all of that. Okay, this little baby. very, very messy. At some stage you're just going to have to rip it. See if you can separate them. There you go, look at that. This one here is a... Whew, look at that. I mean, you know what, there's no need to... They could almost sit as a bonsai, eh? But I don't think I need to do that. I don't really have a space for it, so I'm not going to do it. Maybe I do. No, it's right. I'll it's kind of, you can bury it like that. No, it's okay. There you go. There's another one. Now this is a lucky dip, because this is a trunk that's technically still alive, so we could probably plant that outside and see if it lives. I'm going to do that. I'm going to plant it outside. If it lives, it lives. If it dies, it dies. That's the thing here. Okay, so there, another one. Look at that, beautiful. And then there. And we have this trunk, and we have this. Actually, I don't know if this will live, but I'm gonna cut it and I'm gonna plant that outside. And you know what, I think I might plant this outside as well. I'm going to just trim the roots off, but I'll do that later. I'll worry about that later. I reckon that could live outside actually. So this plant was hardened outside, but obviously it hasn't been outside for a very long time, so I'm just clear up some of the soft and dead roots. Okay, so okay, so let me take these and I'll worry about these later. There. Okay, so first and foremost I'm going to mix the soil. This is good soil, very good soil. It's grown well on this soil. It's got fertilizer, this soil. But whatever's left from this run, I'm going to put it in the plant box or the outside garden. I've got some newer soil that I'm going to use. There we go. And don't want to overthink it. Alright, let's place our there. Okay. I'm going to put in as much new soil as possible because I want it to have as much fertilizer as possible. The new soil has fertilizer, fresh fertilizer. I'm just putting in some bark for extra drainage. So this is really an aroid mix. Now first I'm going to plan where am I going to put stuff, yeah? So I have to plan where I'm going to put stuff. Maybe I can actually there, I might actually increase the rigidity. I'm going to increase the rigidity of this. So I don't want to be faced in a position where later, because this is going to be staying here for at least a couple of years, it's not going to move for a while. So let's increase the rigidity of this thing, because nothing worse than having to band-aid it later, realizing whoopsie doodle. Okay, so we have our main star. Okay, we have our main star. This is the main star, okay? And I'm going to lay that flat on the bottom like that, okay? So that's the main star. And then we have the peripheral stars and the little stars, okay? So that's what we've got here. So, yeah. Let's see how I'm going to structure this. So the perspective of this is going to be, this is going to be facing the front, okay? This is going to be facing the front. So let's think of it in that way. Let's see. Front, so it's gonna sit here like this. So this is sitting in the back like this, the sides. It's going to be facing forward. So I'm going to need some little ones in the sides and back. I'm gonna move that like this. If I can stay. That. And then this. This can be on the side. This. Okay. Yeah. Okay, and then first I'm gonna, this one has to sit like this. Okay, get rid of that. And then it's gonna sit quite high like that actually. And then this one is gonna sit quite high as well. So in this one, the main affair, this one is going to be right in front, okay? But let me put some more soil in there first. Yeah, like this. Okay. So I can see all throughout the soil. So some fertilizer in there, Osmocote. Okay. And I'm going to give this a good watering down once it's, okay, so this one needs to be high, okay. This one needs to be high as well. Alright, I'm actually gonna tie that up a little and got a little green hook. Green hook is just to kind of and I don't know, I might top dress this. I haven't decided yet, but top dressing looks fucking nice, you know, and I think I'm not going to be moving this for a long time, so top dressing it could be quite good. If you know what I mean. Okay, right. I don't know why I put a Cockney accent then, but it just sometimes comes out. Okay. Oh, this one here is going to need to be standing up. Okay, so I might, oh, I think this might need another clip. There, another clip. There we go. Another clip. Okay, now this is a moment of truth. The main plant. How do I position this? Okay, now my problem now is I've filled it up with soil. I shouldn't have done that. My bad. Okay. Because now I don't know how to. Okay, there. Now this is the main event. Okay, the main event. So okay, aerial roots. You don't want to damage the aerial roots. Oh, okay, my bad. Okay, yeah. Okay. Let's try this. Trying to thread pieces of the leaves or pieces of the plant inside, and then making sure that the roots that have air, what do you call that, air doesn't get all screwed up. How does that look? It looks better. Obviously I will manipulate the plant to make it look better. How does it look? Some stragglers on the side. I like that kind of flaring on the right hand side there. But can't be too flared. These leaves are a pain. Let me cut those off. Actually, those leaves are actually impeding in the... Actually, you know, actually I think I can train those leaves. No, I'll leave them, because if I take them, then it's a waste of growth. Okay. There. Okay. Let me cable tie this. Nope, I can't cable tie it, it's too far. I'm gonna tie it with a string. Okay. I'm actually going to tie it and fasten it into two directions, because if you don't, it could pull into one direction, and that would be fucking annoying. So securing it as many places as possible, and I'm using a garden twine, so it's not going to ruin the aesthetic of it. Actually, maybe this is good to let it hang down. There, okay. Alright, look. That one too. Yeah, so you got to look for points of weakness. That's the key. You got to look at points of weakness and see where those are around the plant, because if you don't, then later you're going to have an issue. They're going to fall or something. It's going to be fucking annoying. So there. Okay. You know what? That's looking good. It's looking real good. Okay. And I'm going to hose this down mega when I finish. And so I'm going to wash the dirt off. So I'm going to just... It's kind of like by doing that you fill the gaps. Fill the gaps. There you go. So like as I put more dirt in there, it's actually just keeps compacting. So if you don't do this, what you're going to end up with are air gaps, and that's not good. So it's actually very good that it's doing that. There you go, it keeps compacting down, which is great. Shit, I don't know where the soil's going, but it's going somewhere. Okay, I think that's done. And I'm going to top dress that as well. Okay. So I'm going to try to So I'm going to try and it's out of control, this motherfucker over here. Yeah. This one at the back is going to grow this way, and then the next shoot's going to grow up here. So what I'm doing is I've trained the lead shoot. It's going to grow up here, okay? That's my goal. This one here I'm going to leave. This one is a straggler. I'm going to have to take care of this one. Yeah. I think Now, it's tempting to cut and prune leaves off, but the issue you have is plants spend so much energy growing leaves, and by you just cutting a limb off, it's like one solar panel less power generation, you know what I mean? Like, it's like having solar panels in a roof. It's like it's kind of moot point if you do that then, you know what I mean? It kind of doesn't make sense. So that looks good. All right, I'm gonna top dress. I'm gonna pause the video